Good morning, guys. How are we doing this morning? Good to see you this morning. Um, Out here for the walk. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for considering, or thank you for your continued discipline and effort in the morning, getting up. Um, just thank you in general, guys. Give yourself uh, a good morning handshake and high five as we get today started. Today is Friday. I believe it's March 7th this morning, 2025. Little chilly out here over here on the East Coast. Not quite spring yet, but we're moving in that direction. Out here for another morning walk, embracing the elements, embracing the joy of being up, and embracing the purpose of our life. And as we say all the time here at BNV Finance Fixers, discipline is key. Discipline is key. I talk so much about discipline, guys, because in order for us to develop the skill sets necessary to achieve any goal that we have in our life, it is going to require discipline. Um, Discipline translates different for different people, and then there are different areas of your life in which you need to implement discipline. But developing the skill set of discipline starts with you. Um, there are other things we talk about, for example, purpose, having a purpose in your life, understanding a purpose in a life, finding purpose, setting your mindset as to what you believe you can do, who you believe you can be. Mindset is important, but the major key and the biggest thing, once you make those choices, good morning, how are you doing? Please, if you can, thank you for being up and joining. Please drop a comment, hit a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. Would love to see more people here. Uh, yep. And if you're just using this, guys, as I always say before, if this is just kind of your wake up check in, you're up and you're about to get started and go into your day. I'd love for you guys to just say, I'm up and I'm out. Just drop that comment in, down in the comment log, and then head out and do what it is you're doing, guys. Always love to use this as a way to just kind of as a morning check in for those of us who are getting up, and just a reminder that we're our purpose and that we're constantly working on our purpose, towards our purpose, and that's that self improvement. So, welcome in. Thank you for being here this morning. Today, we will be talking about this small 5 minute change. This is the one thing that you can do in 5 minutes in the morning that can have a major impact, not only on your overall development and the things that you're working on for yourself, uh, but also on your achieving your personal goals and getting your day off to a great start. Uh, it's key, it is necessary, and it is powerful, guys. So please stay tuned for that. I am, as always, Olorofo Bird, and I'm out here walking, guys. This is a good morning. Who do we have checking in this morning? Eh, All right. It sounds like a pretty heavy dosage, but good morning. Don't know your doc, or don't know your sleepy situation, but it's about trust. So, um, as I was saying before, welcome in this morning. Thank you guys for being here. It's always an appreciation to have you guys here, to see you up and active and prepared to face the day. I know for some people it may be the evening, for some of you it may be the early morning, but either way, we are up and we are getting started. As you know, guys, this is the 4:30 to 5 a.m. walk, and we're talking about discipline, we're talking about purpose, and we're talking about growing. So this morning, I want to talk about small, what are known as micro victories. Micro victories are, uh, it seems like you had a tough night. Um, this is Matt. Thank you for providing the levity this morning, Matt. And Kobe also in. Good to see you. God is it truly is amazing. So I want to thank you guys for being up, for being part of the chat. I appreciate the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share so we can be able to share with each other more. Um, but one of the things that's important, guys, is to make sure we're having uh, 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 some personal dedication and personal identification of our own purpose, and that we're being intentional about the things that we do as we pursue our purpose, as we pursue our goals, whether it's our first car, whether it's sleeping better, whether it's improved fitness, whatever it is. We want to be intentional about our actions. We want to be knowledgeable about our goals, and we want to be consistent about our application and our efforts that we put in. So, discipline has four pillars. The four pillars of discipline are going to be um, uh, consistency, repetition, patience, and perseverance. These four pillars are what we're going to use to make sure we are developing firm, uh, a firm base upon which to build the foundation of discipline. And then on top of there, we build success and mastery, right? That's how we grow. That's how we achieve our purpose. That's how we become stronger as individuals. That's how we gain a better understanding of ourselves, the actions necessary. And of course, we must always be self-aware and self-accountable. So being self-aware is simply knowing um, the things that we need to know about ourselves, and then also holding ourselves accountable. Uh, all right. And so, in order for us to remain accountable, I'm sorry, guys, I don't have anyone to moderate the chat. So, every once in a while, I will have to stop and read the chat. But please continue to share. I do, after I've completed the live, I do take the opportunity to go back and I try to, for as many situations as I can, respond, communicate, reach out, and I do appreciate the interaction. And so, as we start to develop these levels of discipline, the thing I want to talk about this morning is micro victories. So, the body craves winning, right? The body craves uh, the dopamine we receive from planning to do something and then getting that thing done. So, it's important because sometimes we can just go about our life and we don't plan to do anything, or we haven't set up a specific achievement. If we don't set this achievement up, oftentimes our body has a difficulty identifying this achievement as indeed an achievement. And there goes my camera. Let's see if we get it to zoom back in on me. There we go. So the body, the body and the brain, it wants to achieve. It wants to. Thank you for being here, guys. It's a pleasure for every. It's a pleasure for me to see everyone. Please drop a comment. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for being up. Remember, this is 4:30 to 5 a.m. Wake up and walk and talk. And so, the body craves achievement. So, in order for us to get those achievement, in order for our brain to kick in and identify, hey, we are achieving a goal, we are getting things done. You want to you need to create it. You need to say, okay, well, I want to get 5 squats done in the morning, right? And then you get up, do the 5 squats. I mean, it takes a few seconds, especially if you're starting a fitness goal. If you're starting a financial goal, it's like, hey, uh, I want to put $10 aside. I want to move $5 over into my personal investment account on a weekly basis, you know? So then you find, hey, I did it. I moved it Monday. I got $2 more. Let's just move the $2 over. And so you start to do micro changes. You start to get micro wins, and they start to compound on one another. Not just compounding in the benefits that they provide, but they start to compound on one another in the dopamine and the return on investment to you. You start to be able to better appreciate for yourself, understand those victories, and see that overall you are winning. And once you start to feel that winning, once you start to identify and understand that you're winning on your own journey, you have more to invest. You find yourself more willing to get up. You find yourself more willing to invest either money, time, energy, focus, thought, all of those things increase exponentially as you see more and more victories. And so, one of the things that I've seen recently is that um, the world is full of distractions. And I really didn't see it early on in my life. I've always been a huge sports fan. Pretty much anything where anything where there's a striped shirt and a whistle, I would watch. So um, I found myself spending hours. I would spend hours researching. I would spend hours watching, hours, so much time discussing it. Afterwards, before I was invested in so many things that had to do with sports. And that investment was entertainment. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm entertained and this is bringing me joy. This is bringing me happiness. How bad can this be? Uh, and then uh, I started to also do it on video games. I'm spending a lot of time playing video games. I'm enjoying myself. I enjoy playing the games, talking about them, researching them, getting better at them, blah, blah, blah. Um, and then it became a point where it was like, hey, like, what am I doing? Where am I going? Um, there's a there's an entertainment return on it, but what's the investment in me? And so once we start to think about what's the investment in ourselves, how are we investing in ourselves when we do these things? I started to look at the number of hours that were being wasted. And the hours are being wasted because if I spend that time working on myself, if I spend that amount of time better understanding discipline, better understanding purpose, better understanding my particular skill set and tool set, developing myself, I develop a better appreciation of myself. I develop a better appreciation of wealth. And this isn't just about financial wealth. This is about just overall the aspect of what is life, what is the wealth of life. And so one of the biggest things we find out, and this is how the confusion often happens, and why so many people think that this is always about being rich or always about making money. The confusion that is made here is that people believe in order for you to be happy, in order for you to in order for you, whenever someone talks about being wealthy or whenever someone talks about being rich, they're talking about actual money. No, wealth and rich is measured in time, not money. Money is used in that time for you to experience whatever you're experiencing. But being wealthy and being rich is not about the amount of money you have. It's the amount of things that you can do with the amount of time you have. And there are people who confuse the two, and then they don't work on themselves to sharpen their tool set to be able to achieve as much as possible within their time frame. And then they sit back and they say they hate rich people. They say rich people have it easy. They don't like people who have money. It's not about money. It's about value of your life. What's your life? What's valuable to you? And so there used to be these silly shows that came on MTV that was about people who would just go out and just do things that they thought were entertaining. Um, and they enjoyed themselves when they did it. And then someone thought, I'll give you a perfect example. The X Games, and oh my goodness, I'm dating myself. But again, I used to really enjoy sports. The X Games came out, and they were literally the antithesis of the Olympics. They were like, we are not about the Olympics. We are about going out and enjoying what we do. We don't care how you grade it. We don't care if you think it's a sport. We just want to go out and we want to enjoy what we do. We want to do our bikes. We want to do our skateboards, whatever it is we're doing. We just want to do it and we want to enjoy it. And then someone said, hey, there's a large enough audience out there, we want to buy it. And so now there becomes big investors, and now there's money in it. But X Games literally from its creations was not about making money. It was just about the people who enjoyed doing what they were doing, getting together and doing it with one another. So what does this mean? It means stop confusing being rich with being wealthy. Learn, understand that your mindset is what is used for you to understand, or your mindset is what is used for you to define wealth for yourself. Okay. And if you ask anyone, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it always boils down to time. And here's the reason why this is important. When you make that realization that wealth is about time and not about money, it'll change how much of your time you're willing to give up for other people's money. Okay? It'll change the jobs that you work. It'll change the different places that you'll agree to go to work. It'll change the time frame. And there's been a significant change in our here in the United States. There's been significant changes on what is referred to as work-life balance, and these changes are driven in large part by people who say, "I don't want to go to work before 9 o'clock, and I don't want to work on Wednesdays and Fridays." Right? Like I just don't. I don't want to be in. I don't want to. I don't want to go into an office 3 days a week. I don't feel like there's a need for me to be in the office. And it starts with asking questions, right? There's this old video on YouTube called Humans Are Sheep. And in this video, it shows uh, a setup. There's a whole room of people who are actors. And every time a bell rings, everyone in the room stands up, sits back down, stands up, sits back down. Every time the bell rings, this woman walks in. She doesn't know what's going on, doesn't ask any questions. She watches the people stand up and sit back down with the bell, and then she starts to stand up and sit back down with the bell. Eventually, they remove everyone from the room but her. Now, there are no more people who were there when she came in. The bell rings. She teaches the next group of people to stand up and sit back down. When the bell rings, you stand up and sit back down. No one knows why now. At least the original group of people knew this is the show. We're trying to trick people into standing up and sitting back down. After the woman was taught, we are now a generation in to sheep who stand up and sit back down because everyone before them have stood up and sat back down. And so now it's the same thing with life. You go to school, you get good grades, you work hard, and maybe you'll be able to die and not leave debt to your children. You stand up, you sit back down. Okay? And so now it gets to the point where, okay, don't ask questions, just do. Don't ask questions, just do. How do you change that? How do we make changes to that? We must first change our mindset. And the first thing about changing our mindset is is even having a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, and you should be your purpose, if you don't have a purpose, then I don't understand. What's the big deal? So, I mean, I'm just trying to get into the office. So if I got to stand up and sit down a couple of times, oh well. Why does it matter? And this is how your life is taken away from you. Little things by little things. One of my pet peeves one of my pet peeves, and again, it's probably from the indoctrination that I received as a child, and the environment that I grew up in. But Walmart, these shopping stores now have this thing where you have to show your receipt when you leave. I'm not showing you my receipt. Now, here's the problem I have with it. I grew up in an environment where if somebody says, "Let me see your pockets," they are accusing you of stealing. Hey, yo, let me see your pockets. They're immediately saying to you, "Hey, you stealing from me." And I'm like, "You don't get to see my pockets. Like, we got to fight." No, you're not looking in my pockets. And so now there are these grocery stores, specifically in my area, Walmarts, where when you go into them to shop, on your way out, they ask to see your receipt. Everyone's receipt is demanded. And I'm like, I don't want to show you my receipt. And me not showing you my receipt isn't about me saying that I'm better than you. It's not about me saying that in any way you don't have a right to run your business the way you want to, but I'm not going to let you accuse me of stealing because other people are stealing. So if you think somebody's stealing, go find that person, but you're not going to treat me like a criminal because you treat everyone else like a criminal. And of course, everybody's like, "What's the big deal, dude? It's a receipt. You ain't steal anything. Let them see your receipt." Right. And then this boils over to, "Let me see your ID. You can't walk down this street without showing you." What? No, 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 no. I need to see your ID because there's been a lot of criminals walking down this street, and I think you might be one of them. What do you mean? You can't just tell me that you need my ID. You can't just take over my life. All of this goes back to discipline. All of this goes back to mindset. All of this goes back to purpose. We cannot achieve what we want to achieve in life unless we're prepared to ask and answer tough questions about ourselves. What am I willing to accept? Who do I want to be? What am I willing to give up to get what I want? What part of society am I prepared to say no to in order for me to focus on me as my purpose? Guys, I appreciate everyone from being here. Please drop a comment, a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share. I would really love for you guys to be able to get this out. I talk about discipline here, and this morning it's kind of trended towards purpose and self awareness, self accountability, because these things are going to be important because if our mindset isn't correct, if we don't have the appropriate mindset, we're not going to have the appropriate behaviors to go with it. And we're not going to be looking in the right places to do the right things. This is really important. This is like the height of importance in this matter because it is indeed about us. It is indeed about what we want to do and what we want to achieve. If we're sitting around and we're allowing others to tell us what reality is, then we're accepting somebody else's reality, then we're living their purpose. You must find your own purpose. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that you have to be counterculture to everything. It doesn't mean that you have to be mad about everything. It doesn't mean you have to be upset and everything has to be questions and everything has to be a conspiracy. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I am trying to say, however, is if you can't think for yourself, then you can't decide your purpose for yourself. If you can't think for yourself, then you can't figure out what it is that makes you happy. And if you can't figure out what it is that make you happy, how are you going to ever know if you're ever happy? It is really important. It is a big deal. It's significant. It's of significant importance that people understand that you are in control of your happiness. You're in control of your path. You're in control of your life. If you're still sitting around, and a few days ago, I had this conversation. We had the talk on here on the walk and talk, a million things that broke people and poor people have that aren't money. And many of them are excuses and blame. And it's easy to blame other people and it's easy to come up with excuses when your brain doesn't want to do the work for you to understand your life and for you to go where you want to go. It starts with mindset. Mindset then allows for you to take on behaviors to develop yourself. And when I tell you these micro wins in the morning, these little things that you do that help to start your day and define how you are going to be invested into your day and the things that you're going to do in order to be a part of all of the work, all of the challenges of becoming the person you want to be and achieving the things you want to achieve, it's going to require for you to do it. I hate to sound preachy, guys. I really prefer to sound motivational and encouraging, but I do feel like that this morning it's important for us to understand that these little micro victories that we're looking to get, they require for us to have a mindset. This mindset requires for us to think for ourselves. This requirement for us to think for ourselves requires for us to actually think. It is easy and sometimes preferred to not think. It is sometimes preferred by many of us, as they say, ignorance is bliss. It's preferred to just go along. Let's just go along to get along because it allows for us to live life in a way where we don't have questions. Everyone else answers all the questions for us. If I'm not asking questions, there's no way I'm going to find more problems. So let me just go along to get along. People, when we say we want something, and this is the biggest thing, and I taught this to my children a few years ago, life really doesn't care if you give up. Life doesn't care if you don't care. Life is not going to make you do something. It's not going to make you be something. Life is just what happens when we are out here in this world with other people. When you want something, life at that point, when you want something, life will present you with challenges. As a baby, if you want to walk, hey, you want to get these grapes off the counter, you will need to learn how to stand up and go get these grapes. You want people to communicate, you want to be able to communicate with people, you're going to have to learn language. You're going to have to learn communication. This is what life does. This is how life works. It is not until you state or not until you show that you want something that life is going to begin to challenge you and try to present to you those things required for you to achieve in order for you to get the things that you want. That's where challenges come from. If you don't want anything, life don't care. Life's just going to keep going on. People around you are going to still get things they want. People around you are going to still live. People around you are going to still achieve. They're going to still set out to meet their goals and their purposes. So life is not asking you to necessarily participate. And life doesn't particularly care. But if you care about your direction, if you care about your destination, if you care about what is your purpose, if you care about what it is you want to achieve, then you have to start to get up and do your thing. I'm not sure who Kirian Pollard is, but this conversation this morning, thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. Please drop a like and subscribe. I'll try to look that person up later. But in order for you to start to see the things you want in life, what this is about is micro wins. Micro wins are a great way to develop discipline. But in order for you to develop that discipline, um, oh, a West Indies cricketer. I'm gonna have to really look him up now. So, in order for you to start to develop that discipline, in order for you to grow, in order for you to make the steps in your life, even with these micro wins, you have to want something because life is okay if you don't want anything. right? The world is going to go on. Everybody out there is going to continue to live their life. If you don't show that you have a desire to do something or achieve something or to get to a certain place in your life, life outside of you will continue. Wealth is not dictated by money. Wealth is determined by time. And the reason money is important in this is because we spend so much of our time trying to make money. We exchange so much of our time in order for us to make money. That's why money is an important part of it. So, if what we really want is to value and enjoy our life, then what we need is for our time to be more valuable. And the true way to determine if our time is more valuable is by us making our time more valuable and stop giving as much of our time away for a reduced compensation. And so, if we don't care about our purpose, if we don't care about our time, and we don't care what we do with it, how can we expect someone who we are going to work for to care as much about our time? And I say this all the time, and the reason I say it is because you don't get paid for the work you do. Because there are people who work with you right now, next to you right now, who get paid more than you because they have made a demand that for their time, they need to be compensated more. And they're not necessarily better at what they do than you are. They don't do the job at a higher level. They've come to a realization that in order for you to get my time, I'm going to need more investment from you. You don't get this by jumping from job to company, looking for the companies to find the value in you. You do it by you finding the value in yourself, investing in yourself, and doing the work necessary for you to get the return that you're looking for. That's what's important. Guys, thank you as always for stopping in. Please like, subscribe, and share. Here at BNV Finance Fixers, we're all about developing discipline, purpose, and leadership. It's always a joy. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Take care. Have a great day.